bat for future reference. I am going to do my absolute best to keep these meetings to an hour. The biggest problem that we have for that, and I am as guilty of it or more than all the rest of you, is the crosstalk on topics that aren't actually being addressed at the moment. No laughing. Everybody should have the newsletter that I put out. It's a slight different take on carrying off what our last district commissioner did. I'm just too lazy to learn how to do it a different way, so I did it in InDesign with my newspaper background. Now, since they were very adamant that we include a safety minute in these things at our last meeting, has everybody signed in?
No.
I have one, and our safety minute is on GagaBall. GagaBall is a very popular game in the U.S. It's played in an octagonal pit and is considered a gentler version of dodgeball. The pit can be made of various materials, wood, plastic, netting, and can be played on grass, mulch, or other playground-safe materials. Dirt and rocks at some various camps, not ours. While the game is a fast-paced activity, it's important for scout leaders to understand the risk and follow the rules to make the environment safe for everyone. Players put one hand on the wall of the pit. The referee throws the ball into the pit. Players yell "ga" on the first 2 bounces and "go" on the 3rd bounce. Once the ball is in play, the players let go of the wall and swap the ball with an open hand. Players are eliminated if the ball touches them anywhere below the knees and must leave the pit. Last player in the pit wins. Safety rules. Players must play with others of a similar age. 2-year span is a good rule. Players cannot hold the ball or pick it up and throw it. Consider safety of playing surface. No hard surfaces like concrete, no mud pits, and pitch should be in good condition with no safety hazards. Always have adult supervision. Softballs should be used as playground balls. If executed correctly, GagaBall can be a fun and safe activity. And in addition to that, our unit loses a scout once a year to a knee or leg injury because of GagaBall. I hate that game with a passion. So you all are gonna run your units, but I don't see a benefit in the risk to the knees and the feet or the kids falling into the wood panels when they trip over each other. And at the various camps we've gone to, our own and over at Heart of America's camps, I very rarely see an adult over by the GagaBall pit, much less 2 to make it too deep. So, you're gonna have to make your decision on what you're gonna allow there. Now,
Up in your safeguard and safe scouting, would that game in there to as far as?
it is a game that has been approved, and it is at a lot of scout camps for that reason. However, if you're going to have an adult, you still have to have your 2D.
Right.
If there's going to be girls playing at the GagaBall pit, for example, at summer camp, one of those 2D is going to have to be female. So it's something to bear in mind. Now, camp rules, sometimes they're a little lax, but the recommendation is that you have an adult for adult supervision at the GagaBall pit, which means you're going to have 2. And in today's world, that means one of them is going to be a female. So our female scoutmaster, you're not getting your scoutmaster nap time. Congratulations.
So the good thing about Troop 404 is most of the older boys witnessed a dislocated knee, and so now they just don't play.
Excellent. Not the knee, the not playing.
It was
So-
pretty righteous. Like, it was just like, holy cow, what is that?
And we'll talk about it after. This is where we're gonna cut it off to save our time standards. In the newsletter that we put out, the headline story, the second one down, Program Powers Recruiting Powers Program, that is the theme for this year. Our big issue in our district is recruiting. We don't have enough scouts. We're at a fraction of what we used to have. We have 3 Cub Scout packs in the district. 2 of those are located in Kirksville.
4 technically.
What's that?
44 technically, 4179 is a, Pack.
41.90.
or 4199,
Okay,
so 4.
so 4 in the district. There's only 3 showing up on my list though. As far as our Cub Scout population, it is entirely too small. Our scout troops are not going to survive another 3 to 4 years if we don't fix our problem recruiting Cub Scouts. So there are some things on here, but basically it comes down, in my opinion, to program. We have to be doing things that the Cubs are going to, and prospective Cubs, are going to go to school the next day and talk about the really cool stuff they did. That means, I know we want to power through the program adventures and get through that stuff, but we got to do fun stuff too. And I know Council and National is probably not going to appreciate my referring to the adventures as not the fun stuff, but the reality is sitting down and having extra school is not the fun stuff. You got to do the activities, you have to play the games. That's what they want, snack time. You can't have a Cub Scout meeting without snack time. That's the most important thing right there.
Does that go for roundtables too?
Yes, it does. I did have a memo and a sign-up sheet. You were first for snacks.
Oh, well, you should have emailed me. And my work email.
That starts next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to start next month.
Very good. It will. So-
I don't have my glasses on, I can't.
Our program is gonna do that up and down all of our levels. Cub Scouts, our troops, and our ships, and hopefully when we get crews and explorers, them as well. We have to have things going on that they want to do. If we don't, we are gonna lose these kids to other activities. So, our program, we gotta have our program to do our recruiting. And we gotta recruit and get kids in to have a program that's worthwhile. It's not gonna be any fun to go somewhere with only one other person. We can go with a group and have, our gang of youth there, pack, troop. That's a lot more fun. So we wanna try and pump that up and bring as many people along on the cool stuff as we can. Now, along with that, the next part of that I have is, it doesn't do any good for you to do really cool stuff if you don't tell the world, hey, we just did really cool stuff. Okay? Take your pictures, put them on Facebook, put them up on the Black Diamond page, put them on your page, share them. Send around a Facebook message if you need to. Send them to your local newspaper with a write about who's in the photos. Your local newspapers will run those pictures. Guaranteed, they're gonna run them. They want kids they can put on their front page of the paper or front page of sections. Kids, puppy dogs, and blood sell newspapers. Okay?
Especially if they're all in one.
If you can get it all in one, then they're gold. But
Please don't get it all in one.
I'm assuming in that case, what you're
If you had a
talking
scouting
about
event,
is
you
our
know,
scouts
Kids and dogs
rescuing
are
a
all right.
puppy at the train accident that occurred. Okay?
I would have gone the whole blood
But-
drive route over the train accident, but
What's that?
I would have gone the blood drive route over a train accident, but
Hey, that's another, but we've got to get that out and get that promoted. I will say in Kirksville, we have, just tracking the past couple of years, we've averaged about $15,000 to $18,000 in free advertising from story placement in the newspaper. We have not had that success with the television station, but the newspaper has been phenomenal. Reach out to your local papers, provide photos, just make sure you give them the basic format, who, what, when, where, why, how, and they will help put it into a better format for their paper. But you can get it out and get it in and tell everybody that, hey, we're awesome when we're here, and people will come out. Any questions on that? Amazing.
Is that the, build it and they will come speech?
What's that?
Sorry. I was just asking if that was the, if you build it, they will come speech?
No, that will be for your join nights, which we're gonna need to make sure we get the information for join nights to our fantastic, yes.
Is that because there's
He's
an
making up
asterisk?
words over here.
I'm telling you, man, he's digging deep.
That's that lawyer in him.
You want me to run through, what I've got?
This is the battle handoff to you, man.
All right. I apologize. I brought you guys into this hot room so that we could watch a couple of videos, and my computer is dead from being on and off all day long. But I will run through a lot of this. A lot of the information is in this packet right here, the recruitment playbook. Like Patrick was talking about, there's a lot of different ways of appealing to the kids and doing things, and getting them to come in the door. You know, we talk about getting flyers and things like that out to schools, and doing youth talks, and while those are great, they're not the only way of doing recruiting. You know, when how many of you have already set up for your back to school night? You know, or your school, you know, open house or whatever they call it. A couple of you in here. So that's one of that is probably the best way in this area to be able to do that. But you got to go big. You can't just set up a table and sit behind the table to be able to attract the parents. You have to have something for them to look at, something for them to get involved in, you know, or you know, something for them to tangibly take hold of, engage them in conversation and things of that nature. You know, friend to friend, peer to peer recruiting works great as well, and that was back when we were all in Cub Scouts. That was the old standby for that. Thanks. See if I can pull this up real quick. The meet the teacher nights though are super important. So make sure that you have something planned to be able to get that information to kids. You know, be there. You don't have to wear a Class A, but maybe wear a Class B shirt. You know, or something that says Cub Scouts on it, so they kind of know who you are. You know, we've got a lot of different yard signs that you guys can use for that stuff, and that stuff is here. It's I want you guys to go home with it tonight. That stuff is in my car. I did not bring it in here just to haul it back outside again. We'll just stop at the car on our way out, and we can get you guys yard signs. We got some new ones as well. Some of the heavier,
Corrugated.
You know, corrugated yard signs and things like that. The frames for those, as well as some of the older ones. Some posters. You know, some giveaway stuff like pencils and stickers and wristbands and things like that. So we've got all that stuff. But some of the stuff that you can use also to attract attention, in addition to that, is to reserve. You know, like our archery set, our inflatable archery set, or our inflatable BB gun set, or something to that effect. I know some packs already have some of their own inflatable archery sets and things like that. So the Invention Lab, when it's up this way, right now it's down at Lake of the Ozarks, but when it's up this way, that is certainly a great draw. If you need help, or if you need to reserve the archery range or something, it does. People notice that for a long ways off, especially a kid, and they see somebody over there shooting arrows. They're going to drag mom and dad over there just to see what it's all about. And that's your opportunity to give them a flyer, invite them to the next meeting, get them signed up for Cub Scouts, get them interested. Let me see if I can pull up a couple of the videos that we have. I don't know if I can or not. That says no signal. while I'm trying to do this, I want to introduce a couple of folks. Got Adam here. Adam's our new Director of Finance down there at, and they have to sign in. He's our Director of Finance down at the Scout office. He's been on, what, 3 weeks now, maybe?
Just finished week
Yeah,
3.
yeah. So, he's here, visit with him, let him know who you are and what you do around the council. Kelly from down in Centralia area, she is our council popcorn colonel, and she's gonna be talking about popcorn sales, burger sales here in just a few minutes. She's been my popcorn colonel for, I don't know, 3 years probably. more.
By myself,
Yeah,
for
by
3 years,
yourself
and
for 3
then
years.
co-coloneled for 5 years.
Yeah, she does a great job. She knows way more about it than I do. If you got questions about it, she is definitely the expert on that, and so she'll talk about that here in just a second. That's all right. It'll be easier just to get through this. Patrick talked a little bit about getting out and talking to social media, make sure people know what you're doing with regards to recruiting. And then making sure that you execute that plan well. Make sure that when folks come to your table, whether it's at a open house or whether it's at a formal school night, make sure you got the important stuff. One, the date for the next meeting. If you don't have the next meeting planned, that's probably a bad sign. If you don't have a calendar, people want to know what they're getting into. Scouts isn't free, so if people are going to be paying money to be involved in it, they want to know what they're going to get out of it. And so having a calendar will go a long way. And the last thing that I always make sure to tell people is to make sure that they have contact information. You know, if you have some questions, give us a call, send us an email, whatever. Give them a phone number and an email to be able to keep contact, and so that you can send them reminders of those next meetings. Those are probably the three things that will make your school night or your open house go the smoothest and have the best production. We do have some. Try to find it here. A couple things that you might share with your schools. As you talk to your school administrators, make sure that you mention the Be a Scout. I'm sorry, not the Be a Scout. What's the name of that program?
Adopt a School.
I've talked about this all day long, and now I'm having Adopt a School. Yeah, I literally talked about this all day long. Adopt a School program. Make sure you talk with the principals and the superintendents about the Adopt a School program. That's a great way of just saying, hey, we'd like to help you out, and around the school. Maybe it's by raising the flags, and maybe it's by leading the opening ceremony at the football games, or cleaning up some leaves around the recess playground. Whatever it is, it's a way of not only helping out the school and building that relationship so that they're going to work with us a little bit better. But it's also a way for you guys to have the kids out, getting pictures of them, letting the community see them out doing some sort of service. So make sure you're thinking about that as the year progresses. There are a couple of new things that have come out. Has anybody seen the email regarding the veterans membership discount? Mm-hmm. So we worked that out with Veterans United, and what that is 50% discount for those that have a family member that's either active duty or retired from service. For youth and adult registrations, I do have a few of these out in the car. I have a few of them around here too, and I'll pass them around here as well. But the way that works is they'll have to go online and put in a code for that. They'll answer a question. Was your family? Do you have a family member that's a military person or a veteran? They click yes. They give them a code. They put the code in, and it knocks off 50% of their registration fee. The way to drive them to that online, if you remember from our talk last year, is to use your unit's QR code to be able to get folks to sign up online. This particular one, and I would generally blow this up if it were doing something at, you know, at a school or what have you. But if you blow this up, people can take a picture of this, and it'll literally drive them back to your registration page for your pack. Make sure you have that information right. But that's how you get it started. Then, you know, it's, the joining link is right there. If you wanna join pack 404, take a picture of this, cause this is for pack 404. But yours is on the My.Scouting website as well, under the invitation manager. And if you have questions about that in further detail, need to know how to find that, get a hold of your commissioner, or give us a shout down at the office and we can help you find that. It's in your My.Scouting website.
And that veterans discount link is available on the Black Diamond District Facebook page. It has been shared there, so you can access it.
Couple of things on the join night stuff. There is a checklist in here for you so that you know what information or what supplies rather to bring for your join night. Tells you what to do after your join night. It also explains some of the key tips for that. Even goes as far as to give you an agenda or sample agenda. You can tweak this, you can use as much of it as you want or as little of it as you want. But there's a pretty good agenda for you guys to be able to follow to get the information out. The one thing I always try to caution people about is that you know, people are there to join Scouts. You know, you talk about what you're going to do throughout the year, what the program does for you, what the program costs, and then let them come through and start getting the registration process, either by, you know, paper or whether it's online. The one thing that will turn people off, I think, the quickest is if you sit around and you tell war stories about what goes on within your pack or what you did last year. If you start doing that for 15 or 20 minutes or longer, people will lose interest really fast. And so I know it's fun to talk about. You just want to make sure that you limit the amount of time that you're talking about that kind of stuff. They're not involved. They haven't been involved. They're coming back to coming to you to get information on stuff moving forward, and not necessarily on everything that's happened in the past. So share a few stories, just don't overshare, so that you can keep their interest. Questions so far on Join Night information?
On that veterans code, you said, okay, you'll get a code that you can put it in for when they apply online. What about those who don't apply online, who apply at the unit?
They will have to do it online, yeah. To get that code, to get that discount, they'll have to do it online.
Have to do it online. Okay.
And it's the same way for any financial assistance. You know, if they're looking for financial assistance, we want them to do that online as well. That's much easier for John to take a look back and look through and approve and set an amount that we can help them out with. By doing it that way, it's much quicker. He goes through them with regularity, every couple of days. So they should hear back pretty quick about that. Most folks, I think, nowadays are leaning towards doing everything online. I know even I am to a great extent. So if you take and have the QR code for your pack or your troop, and you can let folks take that picture, they could sit right there and you can walk them through the registration process on your on their mobile device. Almost everybody, I think, nowadays has a mobile smart device. And if there's some exceptions to the rule, we'll do our best to work with them, obviously. But let's try to get them to do those things online.
Is there any change in the cost this year?
145, I think, is that? You might open up that email if you have it there. I don't believe there's any change in cost.
That's one thing I hadn't seen anything on yet.
No, I haven't seen anything on it either. if you go to Great Rivers Council website, and go under the resources page to, click on that for me, unit recruitment, and then just click on the unit recruitment right there. It'll take you down to all of our resources, which will list several different things out. There's a planning night resources, goal setting material, adopt a school stuff that I talked about. It's got your downloads for the joint night playbooks, the goal setting and planning guide, the new member, packet. Got some marketing materials, hints on, relationships and execution and engagement. If you scroll down a little bit further, there are links for the videos that we have out there. There's also links to be able to order your flyers right there. That's the one right there, Patrick, that you had for getting the flyers ordered for your scout troops or your Cub Scout packs. So make sure that you're going to that. There are links to that in the emails that have gone out. But if you need a link to it, make sure you let your commissioner know. Let me know, and I can send you. We can send you a direct link. The promotional videos are all down there. Geofencing, for geofencing, that's one of the things that we try to do for you guys. It costs the council a little bit of money, but we think it's money well spent on advertising. It kind of focuses on the demographic that we're looking for. Parents with kids that are between the ages of such and such and such and such, within a specific radius. And so make sure to take advantage of that. But keep in mind that we need 2 weeks to be able to get that stuff printed, and we need that 2 weeks to get the ads set up and running and things of that nature. Have time for that ad to actually work. Anything else on that? I know that was
Kirksville
relatively quick.
units, August 18th at the school. You have access to set up a table at Ray Miller. So we need to make sure that we are there in force.
What time?
Yes.
Okay.
I sent an email to the PACs, and then I will reach out. I'll reach out to you, Wally, because Jim's not answering my emails. So I'll reach out to you. We'll sit down and discuss how we can approach setting up tables for PACs and the troops. We'll bring an inflatable archery set. Maybe we want to set up outdoors. Maybe we want to set up indoors, depending on where they put us. But for Kirksville, let's make a splash on that, and we'll talk about that outside of the meeting here. Just 179 is gonna show us up and do even better. Yes?
Sure.
Good.
Speaking of
The
that,
superintendent, we did meet with the superintendent at Kirksville Schools today, visited with her a little bit about that. And while we're gonna be able to do the open house, she really wants to see you guys at the open house. But if for some reason you get stuck in the corner, don't feel like you're welcome the whole lot, we wanna know about that. She's got a connection to scouting. Her son was an Eagle Scout, so I think she wants to see you guys succeed with your recruiting programs and with your packs and troops. But if you're stuck in the broom closet or something like that, make sure you let us know so we can have a conversation and just kind of see where we're at on that. So Bill Lovegreen has also asked us to keep him looped in on that as well.
And it has been mentioned, but at your joint night tables and presentations, include a presentation on popcorn, how they're gonna actually be able to fund these fees that they're gonna be hit with, so that, we don't have potential scout families in sticker shock. And that is a great segue to our
That's right.
popcorn presentation.
Do you have something to pass around for signups for school night, so people will give us dates? might
Yes.
do that. So anybody has a sign-up date, or a back-to-school, date that they haven't given me. I think I have most people's back-to-school dates, but.
Well, draft day, you know, I think we're gonna recruit boys. I think it'd be most important, and it should be important, that you've got leaders to start with. You know, don't recruit a bunch of boys and then say, well, you know, I need you to be a leader, you know, volunteer to be a leader or something. You need
We
to-
try not to do that.
I know, but you should have them say it.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to, the one thing that, you know, that's almost something that you run into every year when it comes to, Lions of the Tiger Cup.
You didn't make
My
it.
advice,
You're making, okay, go ahead with that.
my advice on that problem, when you have a leader for a younger den, is to pull an experienced parent from the Weeblos Den or from the Bear Den, and ask them if they will co-lead this, you know, Tiger Cub Den or Lion Cub Den, for 2 months, 3 months, with a parent from within there that's to be determined. And then you have some transition time, you have some training time for the new person, and you have somebody experienced, coming in from the get-go. I know, several units have done that with great success in the past. It keeps you from losing too much momentum. Thanks for bringing that up, that's a good thing.
Okay,
Kelly?
me. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
we'll
do
let
better
you
just
talk.
sitting here with you guys. So no presentation for you. But if you guys want to turn your pages to the first page there. As a council, John and I sat down and we went over the numbers from the last couple years, and we set a goal for our council as a whole this year of $433,000 in retail sales. That is the goal that we are pushing for the entire council. Of course, you guys know that this is a risk-free opportunity. You guys you don't have to pay the bill until the end of the season, things like that. So I'm not gonna go into all like the super tiny details. I know most of you guys are pretty experienced with popcorn, if I remember correctly. So your important dates at this point is the primary order is due on September 5th. And then the pickup dates is gonna be the 19th and 20th. Returns is gonna be on November 1st. Your final order is gonna be due on November 3rd. And your final order pickup is gonna be the 14th and 15th of November. And then your payments are due December 2nd. And just like last year, if any payment that is not made by the end of day on December 2nd, they're adding a $25 late fee, or 25% late fee to your total balance. So make sure you guys get that in, get that done. Last year's popcorn, we had 3 units who didn't pay their bill until March. So let's make sure we get that done on time. That way you guys can be thrifty and save that extra 25%. Let's see, you guys are Black Diamond, so you guys, your distribution for the primary pickup is gonna be at the American Legion in Shelbina on the 19th of September from 2 to 6. And Patrick's your contact person for that. Let's see.
Yay!
It would have been a great wood badge to get. And next year, wood badge, or next wood badge sessions, think about it.
Yeah, so if anybody would like to come on down to council on the 17th, which is a Wednesday at 10 a.m., we'll be sorting all the product into districts. And if you are there, you can take your product with you that day rather than having to wait, which can give you guys a couple extra days ahead of everybody else if you'd like. Let's see. Okay, so a fun fact that we put on here is, like I just told you guys, we have that goal of $433,000 council-wide. We have a little over 2,400 scouts registered in our council at this time. This is before recruitment. If we had just half of the scouts already registered with us, sell $361 for the entire year, we would exceed the $433,000.
Impressive.
So half of our scouts selling less than $400, and we would exceed that. So think about that. One of the things I like to do for my unit is break things down into achievable goals. 361 is a whole lot less scary than 433,000, especially on a scout basis. Little kids, they don't really know the dollars amounts. They don't understand it. They don't comprehend the value of money quite yet. Even the Weebelos struggle with it. I mean, I've got 5th and 6th graders. They struggle with it even at that level. So setting a dollar amount and saying, hey, this is our goal individually, things like that, they may not comprehend that quite as much. So break it down into smaller dollars, smaller achievable goals, which I will do here in a little bit, even further. Okay. The next page, if I'm going too fast or you have questions, please just ask or stop me. Next page is our kernel breakouts. Last year we held these little Zoom sessions on Sundays. We're going to do them every other Sunday this year, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. These were actually really beneficial for a lot of the scout leaders last year that were involved.
Just trying to make
it's
some more
just-
gym or some more room for Wally over there.
It's just an informal Zoom session where you guys can ask questions, trade ideas, give feedback. If you're struggling with something such as participation or overcoming excuses, if a certain product's not selling for you and you want ideas, things like that, that's what we do in these Zoom sessions. It's strictly for some feedback from other people who are in the same boat as you. So we have the veteran sessions, which is going to be colonels who've got their third year or more. The questions you guys may have are going to be completely different than a first year or a second year rookie colonel. So that's why we separated the rookies out into the 8 p.m. session. If you can't make either one of those, because I know Sundays are busy, you can always join us at that 9 p.m. where it's mixed company. That actually tended to be the most popular last year, is the mixed company. The new rookie colonels, they really like hearing from those that are more experienced on things that are working for you guys. So I invite you guys, even if you just want to sit back and just relax and just listen while you're doing something else, paperwork or something like that, you could do that and pop in when you have something that you can add to it. Our primary contact this year is going to be the GSA or the GRC BSA product sales group on Facebook. I am slowly trying to wean Basecamp out. If you guys used Basecamp, you know why. Okay? So ideally, this year will be our last year using Basecamp. It is the most annoying thing I've ever worked with. I feel like most people agree with that. So we are switching over to the Facebook group. And then the Zooms, of course, are going to be primary contact as well. You can jump into any of our Zoom sessions that we have if you have just a generic question. You can also email me, and my phone number is listed on literally every single one of these pages. So at any point, you guys can call or text me. And that GRC email goes directly to me. So if you have questions there, you can do that. I've probably gotten about 150 this week already. So I've got quite a few units who are partaking of that email. So the next page, we have product campaign training sessions. That's kind of like what tonight is, where you're just kind of learning how we're doing things this year. It's not necessarily topic specific, which we do have separately. What you're looking at there is your in-person training session on the 12th. I've got one more in-person, which is going to be Grand Prairie on Thursday night, which I assume is going to be kind of like tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John will be there. I'll actually be over there and handle it.
Okay. And then just as a backup, on August 26th, we have a Zoom training session as well. It's going to kind of go around a topic-specific training that we have going on that night, so you'll get a little bit of everything there. But we've already hosted, 4 different training sessions on this. So I think the only district I haven't been to so far is Five Rivers. No, I did Five Rivers. I did a Zoom, so I guess it would be Kinderhook. Yeah. Okay, so the next page we have topic-specific training sessions. Last year, at the end of the season, I had a Zoom session with colonels and asked them what they needed more help with, what topics did they want us to touch on more, and this is the results here. We had leaders who wanted unit level assistance. I talked to so many units last year that didn't know that they could even do their own prize system in their packs or units, troops. So that was one of the biggest things. Like, we had colonels who were their first years and they had no experience. They had nobody to train them, nobody to teach them. They had all these questions, but nobody to go to. So I got them on those Zooms, and then we'd start talking about, reward systems and things like that. And they had no clue that they could do that. So their unit wasn't prepared for things like that. They were just literally counting on those Amazon gift cards from Trails End and the camp incentive from council as the only incentives. So this year we have changed that with all of those units, and they're already doing, so much better. But also on the unit level, not just incentives, but fun ideas, kickoffs, kickoff ideas, how to do things, and how to incorporate it into their join nights. I know for us, for our unit, we had a pool party on Saturday where we had the BB gun and the archery range at the park, and then they camped in the park, and things like that. And we opened it up to the public, anybody within the kindergarten through 5th grade ranges, and things like that. They got a little wet, but they made it. But we started at 1 o'clock, and we had different activities throughout the day, fishing and all those other things. And then we had the swimming pool was reserved, which is literally right next to the park. And we had that for the last 2 hours of the night before it was lights out. So that was really good for us. I think we picked up 6 people who were interested in scouts. We have our back to school night going on tonight, and like we've already got the popcorn information out there. So it's part of our packets that we put in for our join nights and envelopes. But our unit does do things a little bit differently when it comes to join night, and that's why we put it out there. We haven't charged a single scout $144 in 4 years. We haven't had a single one pay it. Because our unit is entirely funded by popcorn. With the sales that we've had year over year over the last few years, we are an all-inclusive unit. So our scouts, a new scout for us pays $75, and that includes their den book and their t-shirt, their Class B, and that's their entire join fee, and they sign an agreement to sell $500 worth of popcorn. So it's an agreement that's already in their join night folder that they're agreeing to. And by doing that, that covers the rest of their join. And then if they sell 800 or they do the 500 and volunteer 3 hours within our unit by the end of October, which we have plenty of opportunities for, then they don't pay another dime the whole year. So ours is all inclusive. So ideas like that, I've actually had 3 or 4 different units this year who have asked for a copy of our model. And they are starting their recruitments in the same manner because it resonated with them. They're going to focus on popcorn as their source and not the parents' checkbooks. So those are different ideas that we have discussed on the unit level. And then we have the Square. Trails In app utilizes the Square platform, but you cannot take burgers payments through it. And so I am teaching those units who are wanting to utilize the Square so they can, on their own, through their units account, so that they can take one payment for both products. Teaching you how to set it up properly so you have no tax liabilities. And that there's obviously, we don't want that in any person's name or attached to their social security number. I know, I did that, so I learned my lesson. So I'm teaching you guys how to set it up correctly, as well as how to keep inventory, what reports that can be ran, how to have every single one of your scouts have access to having the Square without having to give them the login and passwords and things like that. So that's a really good one to attend, even if your unit's not at that point, but you just want to learn about it and learn what the benefits can be. And we know that obviously we're supported by Trails End. They are aware that we have 2 products. They are aware that we are teaching this. We're not going against them. They are on board with us teaching this method because we do have 2 products. So, and I can also show you guys how to input your sales into Trails End so that your scouts still receive their rewards and things like that at the end. And then the last sessions we have is Trails In, the app and the back office for new kernels, as well as storefronts. That was our biggest one last year, was how do we set up storefronts when Trails In doesn't offer any for our local community. Sean and I went through it last year. We talked to hundreds of places in Kirksville to find out who would and would not allow his unit to set up for storefronts and stuff, and we went out there and we stood between the Ollie's and Arbor Freight doors for 4 hours and sold $1,000 worth of product, or a little over $1,000 worth of product, and sold those kids on doing storefronts. And you guys went out, did a couple more, and sold the rest of their product pack that I brought with me. And so he was my guinea pig for the Operation Kickstart that we have this year. And so,
You're welcome.
yes, we worked out a few kinks with it too. Okay, so the next page, I guess I'll finish talking about the storefronts real fast. So we did separate city storefronts, so like Kirksville, Jeff City, Columbia, those bigger towns versus Centralia or La Plata or things like that, those more rural towns, because it is a completely different conversation on how to approach it, how to obtain it, what agreements need to be in place, things like that. I will let you guys know that we have worked really hard since last year to obtain the Walmarts that are on our council's Trails In app now. However, we ask that if you guys are wanting to go to one that is not currently on there, to come to me about it, because we have an agreement in place with the corporation of Walmart to set it up through Trails In, because that's who has the contract of approval, not us individually. So if you do have a Walmart that's not on there, which I haven't double checked this week, any of the new ones that we gotten on there, but we do have a list still that we're working on. But Walmart is the only one that we don't want you guys contacting at all on your own. Okay, everyone else, it's fair game. If they've got foot traffic, ask them. Dispensaries was a thing last year. I mean, we can't knock it. It's if they allow it. Farmers markets, the football games. We had permission last year. We didn't use it, but we had permission to walk a wagon through the tailgating area of the Kirksville game that they had at the college. We had all kinds of permissions. Colton's gave us permission. I don't even remember who else, but I know when we were at Ollie's, we could see the other unit down at Tractor Supply. Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. So I mean, we were within sight of each other, and we still managed to sell quite a bit. I don't know how your unit did that day, but and I think there was another group of kids that was doing some kind of biscuit and gravy thing at the front of the parking lot. So there's kids everywhere, and we still managed to do a great job, especially for their first time doing a storefront. I came up here for that and spent 4 hours with them. I'm going down to Warsaw in a couple weeks to help them do the same thing, and then I've got 3 or more Marshall and another one I'm going to do the exact same thing. Is I went and spent a couple hours with them, teach them how to do the storefronts, how to set it up, teach the scouts what kind of script to say, things like that, get them some practice, and then I hand it over to them and walk away and let them do it. I feel like last year as a guinea pig, his unit did really good. But definitely storefronts in a bigger town like Kirksville or Columbia, Jeff City, it is a different conversation than what you're going to have if you're in a small town. I know in Centralia 2 years ago, I had 14 booths going at the same exact time in Centralia, which is what, 4,500 if you count the cows.
It's like this big.
4,500 if you count the cows. We had 14 booths, and six of them were within talking distance of each other. Like across the street, diagonal from each other, things like that. And not a single one of them came back with less than $500 in sales in 2.5 hours. So
takes effort.
It does take effort. And going in and talking to them or calling and talking to every single one of those local businesses, obviously small towns, you're going to get that small town companionship of your neighbors and stuff. Bigger towns, I would absolutely love to have a unit in a big town, because I would have so many booths going that it would be funny. I know I've got 4 units in Jefferson City, Warsaw, or Wardsville area, on the south side of Jeff City and Wardsville, that are competing over the same different locations and stuff. And we've already set up 6 new locations for just those units that outside of the Trails In offered items. So you are not restricted, even if you have Trails In allowed locations, you are not restricted to that, and that is the hardest thing for people to understand. Just because you have locations on there doesn't mean that's all you get. You can talk to any business that gets foot traffic. Pharmacies, like mom and pop pharmacies, the non-chain ones, on a Saturday morning is one of the busiest places that you can go to.
Everybody needs to get their medicine.
Yeah, well, and that's when the old ladies go out, and they're the ones that always have the cash and the candy, right? So definitely check with them. Also, Saturday morning outside of a bank is a great location. Because especially one that has the lobby open. If it's just the drive-thru, you're not going to have a very good chance, but if they have the lobby open on a Saturday morning, that's a really good option. So we'll talk about that. On to incentives. I would try to keep this super quick. Okay, so this year we have pared it down a little bit. We have the top seller and unit tracking, this was something that those colonels that I spoke to at the end of last year wanted, is they wanted some way to know where their unit stood against other units throughout the season. They wanted that competition, they wanted to be able to call up another unit leader and have some type of den versus den competitions, things like that, but they wanted to be able to pair that with somebody who is working as hard as they are. And so what we have this year is, it's just like when we had the spin wheel thing, just a Google form that we just ask that if you want to participate in it, you can, you don't have to. But once a week, submit your top seller or submit your unit total sales. I'm not verifying this, I'm not double checking. If you want to lie, that's on you, not me. But I'm going to post it out there on our GRC pages, things like that. See how that works and kind of go from there. It's up to you guys what you guys do with that. If you guys want to use it as an incentive for your unit to work a little bit harder. I know my scouts personally, they love the little internal competitions and stuff, and they have asked for another unit who works as hard as they do and does the kind of work and the sales that they do, that they can have some kind of like little competition with. So if you guys might be interested in that, we have plenty of scouts ready to do it. Something new this year is a swap meet on the day of returns. This is going to be at the council, and this also is one of the things that we spoke about, is a lot of units are afraid of getting stuck with product at the end of the season. They also find that having to go on there and locate a unit that has the product and be able to get to it before the final orders are due and things like that can be somewhat time consuming and not always plausible with careers and things like that. So we're going to have this at the council. It's the same day as an all hands meeting, so if you're already going down for that, it'd be great. But bring any of your leftover product with you. Obviously double check your final orders and remove from that inventory what you need, and just bring your leftovers and see if you can't fulfill somebody else's final orders with what you have on hand. That way you can get rid of it and they can fulfill their final order. Hopefully that will make our final order at the council level much smaller. Ideally it would be great if we could get to not requiring a final order, because we can swap amongst the units this way. But it'll all be centralized. We'll have the forms there for transfers, things like that. We'll take care of it all at once.
So that's November 1.
November 1, yeah, same day as returns. Okay, so early birds already active, but Operation Kickstart, this was the new thing that Sean's unit helped me out with. It's currently actively going, but we had units who did not, they had to qualify one of three ways. They either did not sell at all last year, or they sold but did not do any storefronts, or they sold and only sold one product line. And if you met any one of those qualifications, then you qualified for this Kickstart program. It's 4 weeks during the early bird sale time, where we have a product pack. It's approximately $3,700. It's one case of every product but 2 of white cheddar. And you have 4 weeks to sell as much of that as you can. With my assistance, I'm helping you guys set up your storefronts. I'm helping you set up your sign-up sheets, helping you with your square if your unit wants to use that. Basically, all these things that I've been talking to people about, talking to units about, we are implementing it in this program. And then the difference between this versus regular sale is that everything they took in that product pack is 100% returnable, including open cases. So again, it's a zero risk opportunity for units to kind of dip their toes in the sand and see how they do with it, with my full assistance as well as the council's full support. I currently have 6 units who have not sold in over 3 years that are participating, and 1 who qualified based on one of the other qualifications that is actively participating this year out of all the districts. So I'm really excited about that. We have a couple more that are going.
Did the council contact those units that didn't sell? Because this is already in effect, so I mean.
We did. We sent out an email to everybody.
To all those
We sent one out to everybody as at the council, and then we also sent out emails to those who specifically qualified.
I know we got 1 unit in our district who doesn't sell popcorn.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if you got contact.
I have a full list of everybody with me, if you need to double check any of those. So what we have found so far with this is that with the time frame of being so early in August and stuff, because it's August 7th through the September 5th, which is when they have to make all their returns. If they don't return something by September 5th, then it's no longer returnable. So they're financially responsible for it. But up till then, they can return anything. But we have found that with the time frame of this, that for this year, that we have a lot of units who are scared to participate that are wanting to. Because of the recruitment and back to school and things like that. So we're actually considering that right now, and I'm currently opening it up to 5 more units during the primary season who will qualify for this. It'll still be restricted to 4 weeks, but we'll be able to order them product in the primary sales time. But it appears I can work with up to 10 units directly at one time. On a one-on-one basis. Anything beyond that, it starts stretching me a little bit then. So that's new this year. Like I said, Sean was our guinea pig last year, and it went over really good, and so we're doing that. Okay, so unit incentives. Obviously, your number one incentive is the 48% commission. John and I did some research over the winter. We went and looked at the councils nationwide that participate in Trails and Product and offer the incentives or the commission basis, and we narrowed it down that there's only a handful of units who offer anything above 35%, and every single one of them stop at 35% as the automatic commission, and everything above that is like a 1% bonus if you hit this, or this criteria. The highest one being 38%, other than the one unit in Oklahoma. Council, in Oklahoma that offers the 48% like we do. So the next closest outside of them and us is 38%. But in order to hit that, you have to hit your prior year sale. You have to exceed the prior year sale by a certain percentage, and to get that last percent, you have to double the prior year sales. So it's really, I mean, if you think about it, it's really hard to hit that in a lot of cases. I know our unit last year, we sold 33,000. I can't imagine trying to double that all in 1 year. Progressively over the years, yeah, but it's not going to be a one-off type thing. So the chances of getting that 38% are going to be very, very slim. So our biggest thing is we pass the commission to you guys because you guys know what your unit needs to focus on incentive-wise. I've talked to a few units this year that they have objectives. Like some of them want to focus on going to the summer camps, which is fantastic. We have others who need to buy a new trailer or they need gear, things like that. So that each unit has the ability at this type of commission to focus on what is going to entice your scouts to participate and to reach those goals that you guys set as a unit. So with the difference in that 10% that we're giving you guys are in charge of the incentives. So you will notice that we don't have a whole lot of scout specific incentives this year, but we do have a couple of unit incentives. The number one being the unit climb day. This is going to be simply for setting a goal within 10% of last year's sales. So if you sold 10,000 last year, you can set a goal anywhere from 9,000 to 11,000. Turn that in by September 5th, and then go out there and exceed the goal that you set by 15%, and we're going to give your entire unit a climb day at council. You guys get to pick the date. Okay? So that's just simply for setting a goal and hitting it and exceeding it. And we're even giving you the ability to go lower than what you sold last year. So it's plus or minus 10% of last year's sales. Okay? The other one is the highest selling unit. We would like you guys to go out there and work hard, and if you are the highest selling unit out of the council, then you have the choice of either a unit free climb day at council, or council will reimburse you up to $3 per qualified scout for whatever incentive you guys offered your unit as a whole. So if you guys wanted to do a pizza party or a float day or something like that, I know our unit, we rent out a movie theater if our scouts hit their pack goal. So we would get $3 towards that. It averages out to be about $8 a person for us. So knocking that down to $5 a person will save the unit quite a bit. What it means to be a qualified scout means that the scout is individually registered in the Trails In system, and you guys have input a sale of at least $15. That can be Heroes and Helpers, it can be a wagon sale, it can be an app sale, online sale, we don't care, as long as every scout that is participating is registered on Trails In and has $15 in product sale. Okay? All right, the next one is a kernel incentive, because we know that you guys work the hardest out of anybody. And so every time you guys attend a training, a Zoom session, help us sort product, anything that you guys do, you guys can see on there, I've got quite a few opportunities. I'm writing your name down, which is why I had everybody sign in. You guys, all you kernels currently have at least one entry. But we are gonna be doing drawings for little gift cards. I put a couple of little options down there for like Starbucks, 7 Brew, Panera, whatever you guys are wanting. We're gonna let the winners pick. It's $15 gift cards. I know it's not a lot. As a colonel myself, I know all the work it takes, and it's all thankless stuff that's behind the scenes most of the time. So I just want to treat you guys there. So that's my little incentive to you guys. And then the last thing is we are still focusing on that Mizzou game. We're going to have a popcorn ball this year. So we're going to get the top 100 sellers of the council. They're going to get the 2 tickets to the Mizzou basketball game, just like they have been over the years. We're going to have that pregame party, but the difference this year is that those top 100 sellers are not only going to get those tickets in that pregame party, but they're also going to have prizes and rewards that are there at that during the pregame party. The top 5 sellers of the council are going to get even bigger prizes. So we are focusing on those top 100 out of the council. Like I said, we have 2,400 scouts. If we can get 1,200 of them to sell just $361, we're going to meet our goal. But I want those kids who are going to be going out there and trying to sell over 1,000. And so in order to qualify for the popcorn bowl, they have to sell at least $1,000. And then out of all the scouts that do sell $1,000, they have to be in the top 100. So if 200 sell over 1,000, the top 100 will get to go to this, and they'll all have some big prizes there. So that is our scout incentive for this year. So if you didn't notice, we took away the camp incentive, which I know that upsets some people, but we took a really, really hard look at this. And we looked at the last 5 years, because I know there's been a lot of changes. I know COVID was in there, things like that, but we wanted to look at it. And out of the scouts who earned the popcorn incentive, it didn't matter if it was for any camp or the restricted camps like last year, it did not matter. Out of all of the rewards that were earned for those vouchers, the average use rate over the last 5 years has been 3%. 3% of scouts who earned it used it. So we took that away so that we could focus on something else, and that's where we're going to put the focus on the top 100. We want to encourage scouts to get out there and sell that 1,000 mark. So, and something I skipped in there, I said I would break it down for you guys a little bit more, but back on the top seller tracking and trading page, out of that $433,000 that council has set as a target goal, we have 43 days from the day of popcorn pickup on the September 20th until returns day on November 1st. And our goal is to sell $433,000 in 43 days, council-wide. That seems really hard. However, if we break it down into a daily sale rate, then we're looking at $10,070 council-wide per day over those 43 days. But if you take those 1,200 scouts that we already want to hit that 361, if they sell $9 a day for 43 days, just the 1,200 scouts, if all of them sell $9 a day, which is less than 1 product a day, then our council as a whole will hit that target. So when you're talking to your scouts, encourage them to sell 1 product per day at bare minimum. Even if they're not doing a storefront, even if they're only doing online, or even if they want to focus only on 1 product, or whatever their excuses is, challenge them. 1 product, any 1 product per day for 43 days. It is near impossible not to sell that.
Tell Good Tommy to dust off that credit card.
You could probably sell just on your own street 1 product every day for 43 days. So if we can get all 1,200, which is half of our scouts, to do the same thing, then we can not only meet and exceed our goals, but your unit as a whole can meet and exceed your guys' goals.
Is that goal just popcorn or popcorn and burger?
Popcorn and burgers, 433 as a whole. Yep.
Those of you in Kirksville, I have a question. Does anyone know, when does financial aid get paid to the kids at Sherman?
It's like middle of the first semester.
That late?
I don't have any idea. I graduated.
We need to
last
figure
year.
that out, because that's the day we wanna hit the frat houses.
Yes.
Well, you just stand outside the liquor store.
You'll know.
Or walk down through the tailgate area. I mean, we already got permission for that. And you take a wagon of product and walk down through there with those little kids in a uniform, you're going to sell every single thing in your wagon. I guarantee you. Walking through the homecoming parade in Columbia. I know at Mizzou we can't go on campus, but the sidewalks are public. So when you have those game days, we can stand on the corner and sell product there. So as long as we don't go on property of Mizzou. So you think outside the box, and cute little kids get by with everything. So.
All right.
Any questions?
There are not any cute little kids.
We are at an hour. We've got all kinds time for socializing and networking after this is over. There's a bunch of marketing materials in Rob's vehicle. Grab some signs. There's some Cub Scout swag for joint nights. And I understand he's got a steak dinner for the unit that has the most new Cubs coming in. He doesn't know that yet, but let's all thank Rob for his generosity.
Thank John, yeah.
And I have order forms.
Everybody, please thank Kelly on your way out for coming up.
Thank you,
She came up from down south. A lot of us tell people we work 60, 80 hours a week, and to varying degrees of truth, I think. But she really does, taking care of our elders, living in the facility a lot of times down there at Bristol Manor, and still finds time to do scouts and make trips for us. So I never meet her over to her house. I'm always meeting her there at Bristol Manor while she's working, so she puts a lot of time and effort into coming up and helping you guys out.
So, and I didn't have him on my schedule, so I'm a little bit neglectful in this, but we have an opportunity to talk to the council money man. If anybody has a question, he's got the answer. And if you haven't paid your dues, your Friends of Scouting, he's gonna wanna talk to you.
And to be fair tonight, I have no agenda, no collection method, I'm just gonna listen. I figure it's good to get outside of Columbia and listen about how other councils do things, or how other districts do things, and understand what everybody's facing, not just where I am with my kids, so. That's my whole agenda for tonight.
But you're in my car, if you want Cub Scout stuff.
I got one thing real quick.
Yep.
If you don't mind.
I got one thing after you.
Okay, so Thursday from 4 to 6 at the Macon Health Department is their summer bash. I have taken the liberty to turn that into a Black Diamond District recruiting event. I'm gonna have all kinds of fun stuff. Janelle's gonna bring a bunch of flyers and stuff, and this, like, the swag bag, sweet, nice, alright. So I'm bringing a popcorn machine and a cotton candy machine and backyard bass fishing and some other stuff.
Is it inside or outside?
Yes. We're gonna have some stuff inside, some stuff outside.
Because I can bring the Cub Scout made washer game that Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have scouts you can bring?
Yeah, I can make my kids go.
Okay. So if anybody would like to come, I would happily take volunteers. We will have, all of the health department staff, and I think there's gonna be a couple of 404 boys there, but anybody else who is interested, Thursday at 4, or shoot me a message and I'll get you some information as to when to show up for setup. That's all I got.
On the back of the round table times, the upcoming events, please add June 19th and 20th, day camp. We've got that date set,
In Macon.
National Guard training site, same place we do the Klondike. So, make sure you get that on your calendars for your packs and troops.
There's also another one, Grand Prairie's Camporee is October 10th through the 12th as well. So if anyone feels the need for a little friendly competition, I know that Troop 660 will be there to kick your butts.
I'll let the boys know so that they can nap.
They can what?
Troop 14,
Now.
looking forward to that first place trophy is what they told me.
Yeah.
I'm just passing the word.
Is that Beffords?
That is
Yeah.
Guys, Beffords.
Yeah.
But I'm sure 2025 is gonna, throw in their hat to try to take it on.
It was a lot of fun last year.
He did a
All the
good job
kids had a
putting it
really had a blast. So
Band season started, man.
I know, but I would highly suggest, because
Those that
it's a
can.
perfect precursor to what, I mean, especially the new kids who've never went through a Klondike before. I mean, it was perfect, and the girls were happy they didn't have to pull a sled.
It's good weather for it too.
Yeah, yep.
On a Beffert note, Beffert is one of the units that I've worked directly with his 278 and his 14 units, in changing the way that they do some of their popcorn things. Just like I did with Sean's unit, changing the way they do some of their storefronts and their sign-ups and things like that. One of the things one of the biggest changes we made, other than equipping them with Square, was changing how they do their storefronts. They were doing like a Saturday, Sunday, a couple hours. Anybody who could showed up, they did it. And they split everything between everybody. We switched it up with them to where they had sign-ups for every day of the week in the evenings plus the weekends, and made parent scout partnerships and had the parents pick what worked for them, what day of the week, what night of the week, whatever, what shift. And they were able to take their sales that year from 8,000 to 16,000. So huge difference just in that first year, and then last year they did even better than that. So. Some of those things we talk about on the kernel chats are really helpful for a lot of units, and they're not the only ones. I've worked with multiple units that we've made huge improvements like that with, just by tweaking a few things that they used to do, or getting in a rut of history of this is how we've always done it, so this is how we'll keep doing it. Changing a little bit of things up here and there can make huge differences.
They're small but mighty,
Yep.
and they're based out of Rennick, and then
Yep.
run some
Not
stuff,
anymore,
I guess,
though.
out of
Mobley.
Mobley.
Yeah,
It's out of Mobley.
They're out of Mobley
Yeah,
now.
they just moved, but even still, I mean, they only had 10 scouts, and they still went from 8,000 to 16,000. I know it's in your newsletter there that when I took over Pack 90, we were selling about 3,500 a year, and this last year we hit the 33,000, and then we had another 3,000 in country meat sticks, which we sell at the same time. So and that's over 7 years that it took me to get our unit from 3,500 to 33,000, but it can completely be done. So.
Completely changes the options
Yeah.
available on your program.
Yeah, so like when I was talking about our recruiting and stuff and the way that we recruit, when I say we're all inclusive, we are able to offer things like when they hit the 800 mark, I say that they don't have to pay for anything the rest of the year. We don't just offer their summer camps or council offered, activities there at Scout Center. We also offer tickets to like the Kansas City Mavericks hockey game or the Kansas City Royal Scout Day, the NASCAR Scout Days. If there's a Scout Day, if it's labeled as a Scout Day anywhere in the state of Missouri, we can offer 2 tickets, the Scout and 1 parent, to any of those as a reward. It's one of those rewards that they work towards is being all inclusive is for the parents. The activities that they get to do because of that are for the scouts, and that's how we recruit, is by all the things that you can do that's outside of the classroom of scouts.
Let me interrupt for 1 second. Aaron, let's do it. We'll close this out, and the meeting is done. We'll stay, talk, and we'll socialize and do all that, and carry on for a little while yet. But the formal meeting is over.